we've come to the point where you can see, as Stephen said earlier, we look a bit like the Brady Bunch here, because the expert panel is back, ready to answer some questions. So we've got a few, so I'll dash through them, and then the right expert will step forward and answer the question as we go. So let's get started. I'm just going to go in sequence of how they came in, right? So the first one was earlier on, will SynKit integrate with multiple systems and EXO? It's probably for Stephen.
Not a problem, Grant. Yeah, absolutely. I'll just ask those that are in the room to mute if they're not currently talking. SynKit's designed basically around the concept of being an integration framework. So at the moment, there's a range of connectors around predominantly CRM systems, e-commerce systems, and freight management systems. And you can actually have multiple connectors installed within SynKit, talking between your ERP system and those third-party applications. We have a range of connectors already, as Brent has already talked to, and quite a number of others already in development. At the moment, we've got WooCommerce in development and another one in development. And it's just basically a way of bringing those cloud APIs and integrating them into EXO. But yes, absolutely, we can implement multiple systems with EXO, multiple EXO databases together, lots of power and flexibility to make those processes simple.
Thanks, Steve, and stay there. Is SynKit compatible with EXO version 2016.3.1.954?
954, absolutely, yes. SynKit is actually quite broadly compatible. The way that we've done the integration is less dependent upon the version of EXO. You know, 2016 though is an unsupported release at the moment, and probably getting a little bit long in the tooth. I'd be thinking about potentially looking at an upgrade at this point, but yes, we could integrate SynKit into 2016. Not a problem at all, and we certainly have done a number of those integrations on 2016 for Salesforce and Magento, I believe it was.
That's great. You've just got to love EXO. Right. One for Kate, I think. Can a manager be emailed when someone tries to change the debtor account?
Oh, yes. So I think I'm assuming that ties back to the comments on this, or the discussion around business alerts. With those, you can actually have messages pop up on screen. You can have emails go to single or multiple users within the EXO, where you've got set up those users within the EXO business database. So absolutely, that can be done.
Yep. Now, just back to the cloud question, can EXO be used in multiple ways, i.e. on-prem and a managed cloud hosting model for remote users? Okay, so can EXO be used in multiple ways, i.e. on-premise and a managed cloud hosting model for remote users? Stephen?
Let me try and talk to that one.
Yes.
Certainly, even in a managed cloud hosting model, that could certainly be accessed on-premise. You probably need to decide on one platform or the other. If you're going to go manage cloud hosting, it's just a matter of having that set up so that you can use that while you're on the road remotely, or you can access that in the office while you're on any of your office premises. But certainly we can also integrate a managed cloud hosted EXO with other line of business applications as well. I'd suggest if you have any further questions around that, reach out and let's have a more detailed conversation where we can get into the specifics.
Thanks, Stephen. This one's about EXO reports. Will I lose custom reports if I upgrade to the newer versions of EXO?
I could probably speak to that one.
Yeah.
You will always have access to your custom reports. The only thing we do is verify them. So some of the later versions of EXO, if you've got with the Unicode changes where we allowed for emojis and foreign characters on screens with EXO, which was a change a few years ago, which was very well received. Because of the changes in clarity, sometimes the images just not, if you've got a custom image into a report, you just need to take that out and put that back in as a new setting, but the report should stay, but we always advise people to test them as we go through the process.
Exactly. Stay there, Kate. Have MYOB created a cash flow report for us yet?
Yes, and I think you alluded to that, didn't you, Grant, at the end of the last my last session. So I think, and even in the last user group session, it was gone through in detail by Murray. And there's a statement of cash flows report now that can be run from the GL, is based on classification of the GL accounts to into the various classifications related to the statement of cash flow, and can be run as often as needed. But yes, that's certainly there from, I think, 2020.3, if memory serves.
Excellent. So here's a good one. That one disappeared. So what do I need to know the credit scores of a current customer if they're already trading with us, AJ?
Right. Well, that's a good question. So, you know, if you're already working with a customer and you have that trust, that's great. But I guess the score gives you some impartial, third-party, verifiable data to know that what you know of the customer and how they pay you is fine, but how they're paying other suppliers in the market, how they're paying your competitors in the market, perhaps. What the score does, it gives you independent data that tells you, should you sell more to them? Maybe they're buying from you because you're the only one giving them credit. Everyone else has stopped giving them credit. Right, Grant? So I think the score is something which is just an added level of confidence.
Yep. Thanks, mate. Actually, while you're there, AJ, can customers pay us directly using Easy Collect?
So can customers pay us directly using Easy Collect?
Yeah, so I think that would mean click on a link and then make a payment, I would imagine.
Right, okay, so if you are sending your customer invoices through MYOB, or you're sending reminders through Easy Collect, yep, you can add a Pay Now button to your MYOB invoices or to your Easy Collect reminders. Allows your customer to pay by credit card. Next month we're introducing bank transfers as well, so that makes it even more versatile. And also buy now, pay later option. So they have 3 different options. They can pay, and hopefully that helps them with multiple options so that you get paid on time.
Cool. Next one, what security is in place in Expense Manager to prevent fraud?
Yeah, I'll take that one, Grant.
Cool.
So we have a full audit history across the board. So any changes that are made, whether it be to a supplier record, a credit card statement, or a staff reimbursement claim, is all logged through the audit history. So you can see exactly who's made what changes and dates and times any of those changes are made as well.
Excellent. While you're there, so you speak of AR automation. Does that really work in getting paid?
I think that's probably one for Easy Collect.
So yeah, well, it's good. So GB, since you look after the MYOB customers, do you want to take that one, GB?
GB. Mute.
Absolutely, AJ. Accounts receivable automation does work. The Easy Collect process of workflows, which gives insistent and consistent reminders, makes you the squeaky wheel, and people respond to that. If you're always talking to them regularly and politely about their outstanding debt, they'll always pay you, usually on time. But the workflow process also allows you to go through a series of calls, emails, texts, believe it or not, even letters. So I think we say that we'll reduce your overdues by 70% because we want to be conservative. We think it's up to nearly 90%, but we say 70% to be conservative. So yes, the automation workflow process does and will improve your collections.
Yeah, thanks, Graham. I knew that. I'm biased. Do I need to take all Expense Manager modules in one go, or can I phase the rollout?
No, so the whole platform is completely modular. So some clients might say they want to take on Expense Management right now, get that up and running, and in 3 months' time, 4 months' time, take on our invoice modules and take on our purchase order modules. Or they might take all modules in one go. It's really whatever will work best for the client and their workforce.
Yeah, cool. This one's about XO moving to advanced. What are the requirements for XO users to move to advanced? Stephen.
Yeah, so certainly from our perspective, it's about understanding I think it's a collaborative discussion that you need to have. We need to make sure that we understand the value and strategically what you're trying to embrace as a part of that change, what pain points you're trying to work through, and making sure that you're not just, putting in and dealing with, mirroring what you have today in a new platform, but gaining the significant value that you should be out of a change like that. In terms of the practical requirements, it's essentially like an implementation, although that said, it's much lower risk because you're going from, MYB EXO to MYB Advanced. There's a very clear line and pathway in terms of the data conversion process. We understand your processes, we can talk about that through. But there's a process that we need to go through in terms of data conversion, the design process, the understanding of your processes, and of course the all-important training and getting your users live and getting that value at the end of the day, helping you in that sort of digital transformation process.
Excellent. Philip, probably you. Does Expense Manager need to be installed on our on-premise server to work with EXO?
No, so Expense Manager is a totally cloud-based product. So all the user needs is a device and needs to get a connection. We don't need to install anything on the on-premise server for the connection to EXO. It's a totally cloud-based product.
Cool. Next one, what is the best way to move forward with upgrades if you have complex customization, say third parties, done on your EXO? What impact or issues should you be aware of, for instance, currently on 2018.3.0.300? Who would like to take that one? Kate or Stephen?
Oh, sorry, do you mind repeating the question for 1 second there, Graham? Apologies.
Can't quite hear.
Right, Grant, I might just grab that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, we talked about that low risk methodology. I think that's really important in any EXO environment where you have significant customizations or integrations. And with a low risk methodology, what you're doing is you are preparing a separate user acceptance testing environment. You have that environment running side by side with what you currently have. Can somebody just mute? Thank you, Kate. That environment running side by side with your live environment. That UAT environment would be upgraded to the new version of EXO. And you're then going through that testing and validation, checking your integrations, checking your customizations, making sure that your key processes are working as expected. And then you go through the final go live process. So that can be very, very low risk in terms of how you manage that. And certainly just reach out to your business partner to talk that through. You're not alone. Lots of EXO clients have very extensive customizations and integrations. And, we've got it down to a pretty fine-tuned process these days.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. Yeah. So the next question from Nadia actually was answered there, where there is a testing environment, of course, and there's a very formal process to make sure that you're not going to run into trouble. So your business partner will take care of that. And of course, they've done thousands. So don't worry. Now, the final one here is, will MYB Advanced allow for multiple warehouses, multiple batch numbers on the same item code, and allow for about 100 different delivery addresses on the same customer account, which will enable the user to see each delivery address's transaction? Great question. That might be Susanna, I think. Oh, unmute.
Should I give the short answer? The short answer is yes to all of that. Yeah. Let me bring that question up again, 1 sec. Yeah. So, yep, you can have multiple warehouses. You can even have your average cost per warehouse. Multiple batch numbers, yes, no problem on the same item code. It's limitless. Same with the delivery addresses against a customer. So 100 is absolutely fine. Yep.
Exactly, big ticks there, no problem to that product. Now, that brings us to the end of the questions, which is, so thanks to everyone that put those questions up, and I hope they were useful for others too, listening to the answers. And so that brings us to the end, and I'd like to thank you, the users out there that come and attend these. You are what it's all about, the User Group Forum, a platform in which hopefully you can get new information and take an upgrade in the relationship you have with your system, because you'll be understanding it more, and also looking at what's ahead for your product, and also you can get more out of it from everything we've done today. Also, so thank you so much for our sponsors, Kilimanjaro and Emprise, and of course, Easy Collect, wonderful expense manager, wonderful add-ons. Thank you for sponsoring the user group forums. We really appreciate it, and your presentations, and all the rest of our wonderful presenters today. And we'll see you all next time. And again, thanks for making the time to join us. We'll see you at the next user group forum. Take care and all the best.